I don't agree with this opening line. Let's take a look at the live numbers. And it's even heavier, man. Minus 290 for Medic, plus 235 for Tim Means. I don't agree with the line. I think it should be a much closer fight. I know Tim Means is 40 years old. I know that he's kind of an afterthought at this point. I know that Uros Medic, he's what, 1-1 at welterweight. It's not like this is his natural weight class, right? What makes the odds makers have Medic as such a heavy favorite against such an experienced fighter in Tim Means?
Man, Derek, we've talked about it almost ad nauseum where it's what have you done for me lately? But it's even crazier because Tim Means has a knockout in his last fight, TKO against Andre Fialho, where Medic has a submission neck crank loss. It's weird because it feels like it's just the perception that Uros Medic carries around that's getting him a lot of respect. And don't get me wrong, he's a dangerous fighter. I mean, this dude has, especially with the KO of Matthew Semmelsberger, we know this dude can fight. We know he can crack. And it just seems like a lot of people are forgetting what the Dirty Bird has done for the game and the danger that the Dirty Bird presents. Because if you sleep on Tim Means, you will be waking up in the back wondering what happened. The Dirty Bird is here to fight, and I agree with you. I don't like these odds at all.
And I was looking through, just because like I take first impressions, like how I go about my film study is I take the first impression, I look at the bout and I say, all right, well, how do I feel about it? I try to kind of create my own line in my own head. And I was a little down on Tim Means too. And I could see how if you don't pay attention and you're not actually like watching tape, right? Yeah, all right, Tim Means, 40 years old. Do I want to bet on a 40-year-old? Probably not, right? And then I started watching tape and I was like, wow, okay, well, the Fialho fight, stud, right? You look at the fight prior against Alex Morono. Dog, he was like very competitive in that fight. He looked super sharp. He just got caught with the guillotine, right? I think it was a guillotine in that one. It was, yeah. Mm-hmm. Max Griffin, same situation, split decision, loss right there. Kevin Holland, very competitive. You got caught, you got submitted. If you look at all of those fights and you actually look at how he performed, you're not down on Tim Means the way that the odds makers are. If you look at Uros Medic in his last fight, you're pretty down on him. If you look at him at the fight that he won against Semi the Jedi, didn't look good until the later ends of the fight where he was able to continue to build. Here's the one thing about Tim Means that I found. You have to finish him to break him. This is an unbreakable spirit right here. This is a dude who never says die, who will be there for all 15 minutes. So let's start talking about the actual X's and O's. 4-inch reach advantage for Tim Means, right? Can stay at distance, hit you in places you can't hit him. Foot, keeps his foot in front, stays on the pressure. And if you get him in the clinch, he has a massive clinch advantage, in my opinion, against Uros Medic, even though there's only a 1-inch height advantage for Tim Means. That's what I'm laying out on the table in favor of Tim Means. What does Uros Medic bring to the table that should be smashing Tim Means the way the odds makers see it?
The things I like most about Uros Medic, Derek, are very fast, long kicks, right? He's able to maintain that distance without having to enter any danger, and that's what makes him very good and dangerous at that distance. Very snappy striking and an ability to slip into moments, if you will. Like he's able to set up traps in that striking and not let what the opponent is doing nullify or fluster him in that sense of what he wants to accomplish. Those are some of the things. The striking most is what I like most about Uros Medic right here. But he's going to have a test on his hands against Tim Means, because I do think with that clinch game or that takedown defense that we need to see how Uros Medic does, it could be a whole lot of X's and O's that could come into play that I don't think a lot of the odds makers are seeing right here.
Yeah, man. I mean, Uros Medic has a lot of great tools that he does present. I mean, that's fair. Left cross is a missile. Left kick, rear leg kick is a missile. AJ, let's also bring to the public's attention, this is a southpaw versus southpaw matchup. Normally, if you're an Uros Medic and you have that rear leg head kick, what are you doing? You're taking away the power hand of your opposing fighter. They can't throw it because they need to always keep that on guard, make sure they don't get kicked in their head. Well, the difference is you're going to try to take away the jab now of Tim Means by using that kick. It's not quite as effective given that you're fighting a respective southpaw. Fights always get kind of weird once you start seeing it like that. So that on top of he likes to fight at range. It's hard to fight at range when you're fighting a guy with a 4-inch reach advantage. Kicks might work, maybe, you know what I mean? But let's hammer down on that one part. If you're Tim Means, you have to try to exploit the one weakness of Uros Medic. He finishes everybody. He's a die, or he's a kill or get killed type fighter. But the last 2 losses have been by submission. That's the path to victory for Tim Means, is it not?
Oh, absolutely. Get him to the ground, dominate, submit.
Now, we've said all of this, and you're probably watching this being like, oh, they're about to pick Tim Means. Well, surprise, surprise. No, we're actually like Uros Medic right here. That's the Bloody Water Podcast consensus pick. I just still don't agree with the line. I think that Uros Medic at minus 290 is not a price that I am willing to pay, so that's a stay away for me. If this was closer to minus 175. You know what I mean? Uros Medic, even like a minus 190, minus 200. Yeah, fair, right?
Oh yeah, very fair.
Yeah. Okay. So with that being said, man, Medic is the pick. He's the younger fighter, faster hands. He's not going to be the bigger guy, but there is something to this, AJ. It's hard for me to stomach betting on a 40-year-old against a young stud like Medic, who's a massive finisher. Am I taking that too much to heart, or do you think that that's something that should be swayed when you're betting?
No, I definitely think that sways the vote a little bit right here, Derek, because as high as I am on Tim Means, man, I love the Dirty Bird. There's a point where the rest of the field catches you and your athleticism falters, and hopefully we're not going to be seeing that. But I do have it written down, man. Tim Means, live dog, question mark. It is a possibility that he could get this fight done.
That's right, man. That is right. 15-12 in his UFC career. Uros Medic only 3-2. Vast experience gap right there.